So question 5 says, describe 5 challenges associated with the use of internet. So these will be challenges associated with the use of internet. There's quite a number of challenges. We can talk about cyber security and privacy concerns. So whenever you are using the internet, there is a lot of cyber security threats. These could include things like malware, phishing, hacking, data breaches. So these organizations that use internet always need to invest in robust cybersecurity measures to ensure that sensitive data from their users or customers are protected. So they could be protected from misuse, from duplication, and therefore they should be authentic. So cybersecurity and privacy is a greater concern or challenge. The second one is what we call digital divide. So digital divide simply means that not everyone has equal access to the internet. So there is a divide or a portion of population that are not able to access the internet or the infrastructure that are related to internet. So this always results from factors such as geographical, socio-economic status, infrastructure limitation. So this divide can hinder equal opportunities for education, for employment, and even for accessing information. Because remember, they are disadvantaged in that they are not able to access the internet. Then we have what we call an information overload. So the information overload simply means that the internet is containing a lot of vast information. So this information is abundant and overwhelming. So sometimes sorting through an immense amount of data and to find accurate, relevant, and trustworthy information can be a challenge. So this information overload can also lead to cognitive fatigue and difficulty in decision making. For example, you are searching for an information from maybe a site in the internet, and you're getting lots of information. Some of them are relevant, so you have to juggle between the information and know which information is real, which one is usable, which one is more relevant to what you are looking for. We also have what we call fake news and misinformation. So this is quite common in the internet, where it is now agreed that it has become a breeding ground for fake news and misinformation, where information could be tailored in such a way that it misleads or it can be used to confuse or to manipulate people who might be not very much aware of the intention of the person that is disseminating such information. We also have online harassment and bullying. So some individuals engage in online harassment, maybe things like cyberbullying or what we call hate speech. So this type of behavior where an individual may encounter people in the internet that may be out to maybe just defame them. So this behavior can have serious consequences for these victims, and it can affect their mental health and even their well-being. Then question I says, define the system in the context of information system. So we define a system. So in the context of information system, a system simply refers to a set of interconnected and independent components or elements working together to achieve a specific goal or function. So they are just components that are made to interconnect, or they are connected and they work together, though independently, but the major aim of this system is to achieve a specific goal or function. Then the second bit says, distinguish between physical system and abstract system. So a physical system is, just as the name suggests, it is tangible, you can touch, and real world system. It can include things like hardware, machinery, devices, objects. So these are things that are real. We can touch them, they are physical. But abstract system is just a concept, or what we call a theoretical system. It is not composed of tangible physical components. It is a representative of the system structure and behavior. It basically uses things like models, diagrams, symbols. So it is not something that is actualized. It could be a concept, a thought. So that is what we call an abstract system. Then the G part says describe the job of a system analyst. So who is a system analyst? So the system analyst is a person or an employee or a stakeholder within system development life cycle who is responsible for bridging the gap between an organization business needs and its technological solutions. So this is a person who comes in with technological knowledge and is able to put the business organization needs into technical part, into technical reality. So he's able to get what the business need is and try to convert it to how it could be solved using this technology, in this case a system. Then we are told describe 5 tasks performed by the system analyst. So the same system analyst, what are the tasks that he does? One, he does what we call requirement analysis. What is requirement analysis? So this requirement analysis is where this system analyst is able to gather and understand the requirement of business users, the business management, and even their needs. It involves conducting interviews, surveys, and workshops to identify the problems that need to be solved and the opportunity for improvement. So it is basically at this stage just gathering or getting what are the needs, what are the problems that need to be solved using a particular system. So he also does what we call feasibility study. So feasibility study just involves assessing technical, operational, and financial feasibility. So in this case, the analyst just assess whether the suggested system can be implemented within organization constraints. For example, are our needs in position to be solved using our finances? So that will be called financial feasibility. Do we have appropriate personnel? Do we have appropriate operations that are able to adopt to this new system? So we do feasibility study. Then we have what we call system design that is also done. So once these requirements are understood and we have the feasibility studies done, so the system design and solution begins. So in this case, they create system specification, maybe models. We have what we call process flows and system architecture to determine the best way to address the identified problem and meet the requirements. So they design specification for the problems identified. Then we have what we call software selection. So in cases where off-the-shelf software is part of the solution, so off-the-shelf software is software that is bought. It is not designed specifically for this organization or within this organization. So the system analysts evaluate and recommend the appropriate software package, ensuring that they align with the organization's need. So now, after that, we have what we call development oversight. So now, in this case, at this stage, they must work closely with what we call the software developers and the programmers, the IT professionals that are actually developing this system, that are actually designing and implementing this system, just to oversee the development and implementation of this system. They ensure that the system is built according to the design and it must meet the requirements. Remember, we talked about the user requirements, the management also have some requirements. So all these requirements must be put in place. And also we have testing. Now, once the system has been implemented, the system must be tested to ensure that it functions as intended and is free from defects. So there must be various tests that is conducted. So for example, there must be a unit testing, integration testing, whether it will integrate with the other systems that are existing. We also have what we call user acceptance testing, whether the users will be in a position to work with the system without rejecting it. Then we have documentation. This will be the last one. So it is just a comprehensive documentation for the system. It will include user manuals, system manuals, and training materials. So these are what we call documentation. Then we have this question 2 that says, study the worksheet given below and answer the questions that follow. Study the worksheet given below and answer the questions that follow. So we have some worksheet. It's a spreadsheet. So in this spreadsheet, we have a sheet here with column A to G, and we also have rows 1 to 3. So column A has 2, B is 8, C is 10, we have 10 again in D, E is 15, F is 15, then we have blank G. So what is the question? Number 1, interpret the function given by G1. So look at G1. So G1 is in this blank cell here under G. So if you look at the formula bar, you get the formula there equals sum if A1 to F1 is greater than 10. So this is just a conditional sum. It is a summation that comes with a condition that tells us that the computer, the sheet, to do a summation from A1, which is 2, to F1, which is 15, only if the value under this cell, in these cells, is greater than or equals to 10. So it will only add values that are greater than or equal to 10. For example, here we have C is equal to 10, so it will add that. It will add D, which is 10, E is 15, F is 15. So it will only sum 10, 10, 15, 15. So it is a summation that comes with an if. Then 2 says, state the value to be displayed by G1 on execution of the function. So here, what is 10 plus 10 plus 15 plus 15? That is 30 plus 10 plus 20, sorry. The answer there would be 50. Veronica would like to display the progress of our progress to a panel of examiners using a presentation application. Give 2 ways in which she could display a presentation in slideshow mode. So this is a presentation application. An example of a presentation application will just be like a PowerPoint program. So how will she do that in a slideshow mode? So first, she can use what we call traditional presentation. So Veronica can set up her laptop, or maybe she's using a computer. She can connect it to a projector or an external display. Then she will open her presentation in the presentation software and select the slideshow mode. So this will allow her to display her slides one by one on the largest screen for the panel of the examiners to see. So in this case, the slides will display one at a time, or one depending on the mode or the speed that she wants the presentations to follow. Then she can also do what we call screen sharing in a virtual meeting. So if Veronica is presenting to the panel of examiners remotely or through what we call video conferencing platforms, imagine he's using things like Zoom, maybe Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, she can share her screen during the meeting. She will open her presentation and enter the slideshow. So this mode will enable her to display her slides as full screen presentation to the examiners attending the virtual meeting. So in the first case, she was connecting her computer to an external display. For example, she was connecting it to a projector where she's using it personally. In the second case, she is now in a remote location. She is not with the panelist physically, but she's using a video conferencing platform. So in that case, she is also in a position to share a screen.